check that door for heat, Tim?
Backdraft is a 1991 action thriller drama film directed by Ron Howard that would find high acclaim and large box office success. In 1971, two brothers, Stephen and Brian McCaffrey, played by John Duda and Ryan Todd, spend time at the Engine 17 firehouse in Chicago, Illinois, where their single father, Captain Dennis McCaffrey, played by Kurt Russell, works as a firefighter.
Medium deal, Captain. Hey, Brian. Want to come along? Let your old man earn his keep.
Dad.
Stephen, you've come a dozen times. Now give your brother a chance, huh? What do you say? We'll be back in a minute. How about it, sport?
Sure.
Come on. All right. Pull the cord, Brian. 15:45 in a while.
Alongside fireman John Adcox, better known as Axe, played by Scott Glenn, young Brian accompanies his father on a call and witnesses his father's death during an explosion, known as a backdraft. 20 years later, in present-day 1991, a man arrives home, only to be blown through the windshield of his car and killed by a violent backdraft. Brian, now played by William Baldwin, having failed at several job attempts, has graduated from the academy and has decided to become a firefighter. Brian also finds himself reacquainted with an old flame, Jennifer Veitkis, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh.
I graduated today.
I could see that.
So what have you been up to?
Well, I work at City Hall, actually.
No kidding. That's great. So, I don't know, maybe you and I could get together for a beer or something sometime, huh?
A beer? It's funny. It's like you're acting like I just saw you last week. When I haven't seen you in, 6 years, Brian?
Hey! Shit! Son of a bitch! That one's overheat, Brian! I'll give you overheat.
Well, you certainly matured.
Well, it's nice to know we can still be friends.
He finds out that he will be a probationary fireman at Engine 17, the same company as his brother, Lieutenant Stephen McCaffrey, also played by Kurt Russell.
Thanks for coming to my graduation today, brother. Real inspiration.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, you're really ready to fight fire this time around, huh, Brian? It just doesn't work on you, little brother. I'll see you around.
Not likely.
Well, you see, that's where you're wrong already. Yeah, talked to Chief Fitzgerald, and he decided that maybe you shouldn't be way over on the other side of town where I'd never get to see you. So starting tomorrow, you're going to be with the toughest company in the city. 17. My company.
Brian goes to visit Stephen's wife Helen, played by Rebecca De Mornay, and his son Sean, only to find out that she and Stephen have separated, and he is living on their father's old boat. He goes to visit Stephen on the boat, who is skeptical that Brian will succeed.
I thought Dad's boat was finally retired to the old family graveyard.
You want a beer?
Yeah, why not? What, have you been ripping off fire stations again?
What are you doing here?
Well, I want to know why you mess with my stations. I mean, come on, does this really have to be one of those big brother, little brother, you broke my G.I. Joe and I'm still piss games?
Am I really supposed to believe you came crawling home because you felt heartstrings moan for the family biz? You were bankrupt, man. The scary thing is, you probably could have got away with it for a while. Hang back a little at the fires. You know the drill. The only problem is that this job, there's just no place to hide. It's not like having a bad day selling log cabins. You have a bad day here, somebody dies.
Still working alongside Adcox, Stephen often finds himself lambasted by his fellow firefighters for his unorthodox methods and his risky disregard for procedure. Jennifer works for Alderman Marty Swayzak, played by J.T. Walsh. Running for mayor of Chicago, Swayzak's budget cuts have limited the number of firemen who respond to calls, enraging Stephen.
Since you shut down 33, well, there's no fucking backup, right? And we do. We appreciate it. I mean, I don't know about the rest of the guys, but you got my vote for mayor.
Look, Lieutenant, if you have a problem, why don't you help us? Why don't you work with the task force?
Task force? 3 guys have died already this year because of the cuts made by your fucking task force.
Brian discovers that Jen is working for Swayzak.
So this is that big city job you were talking about, huh?
Yeah. Welcome home, Brian.
Arson investigator Inspector Donald Rimgale, played by Robert Deniro, begins investigating the recent backdrafts. In the meantime, Brian finds himself pushed to the limit as a probationary fireman by Stephen.
I do what I do because that's my way. And it was Dad's way. Maybe it's not everybody's way.
Dad's way? What did he tell you that in a fucking seance, Stephen, huh?
All right, fine. Fine, you said you needed to know something? Well, what did you learn today? Huh? What if there had been another kid up there? I don't know. What do you think, Brian? Time to move on?
You're right. You win, Steve.
And is enticed to work with the arson unit after receiving a job offer from Swayzak. Brian decides to take the job with Rimgale, investigating more backdraft murders.
Fire originated in this room, took its time, hung out, but then the air ran out, so it couldn't breathe. It was snuffed, but it wasn't dead. Still all that trapped heat lying low, waiting for some sucker to give it one big gulp of air.
Another backdraft.
The two head to a parole hearing for psychotic serial arsonist Ronald Bartell, played by Donald Sutherland.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Remember this? What did you do to that little girl, Ronald?
I burned her.
You burned her. What do you do to old ladies, Ronald?
Burn them.
And what about the world, Ronald? What would you like to do to the whole world?
Burn it all.
See you next year, Ronald.
Ronald gives clues to Rimgale that shed light on the investigation.
I got it after we went to see Ronald. Torches want to fry the whole goddamn world. But the fires that killed those guys never really burned up that much. The trick, the chlorate hid the magnesium in the plug, but it burned slow. And he made his burns backdrafts.
Yeah, but he killed these guys.
But he could have killed everybody there. The backdraft blew out the flame. That's it. That's the reason.
So what, do we got a torch with a conscience here?
No. We got a stone killer trying to make a point.
With help from Jen, Brian learns of a connection between the alderman and the backdraft victims. When Brian and Rimgale head to the home of the alderman, they are confronted by the killer. With Rimgale injured, it is up to Brian to find the killer. With nowhere else to go, he heads back to prison to talk to Ronald.
Whoever did this really knows the animal well, don't they? They know him real well, but they won't let him loose. They won't let him have any fun, so they don't love him. Now, who doesn't love fire? And is around trichloride all day long.
Oh, my God.
That wasn't such a long walk after all, was it?
Screenwriter Gregory Wyden was a firefighter for 3 years. The film is based on the death of a friend in an actual backdraft. Before filming began, the main actors went on calls with real Chicago firefighters and also went to the Chicago Fire Academy to learn how to behave like firefighters in the film. The movie was filmed in Chicago from July 23, 1990 to December 8, 1990. Kurt Russell, Kevin Casey, Scott Glenn, and William Baldwin did a lot of their own stunts, and stunt coordinator Walter Scott was so impressed by their performances that he listed them as stunt performers in the credits. To draw audiences into the intensity of a real fire, a cameraman was outfitted in a fireproof suit and wandered through the flames with a handheld camera. Kurt Russell heard about this film from Tom Cruise, who was trying to cast him in the 1990 film Days of Thunder. Kurt Russell pursued Tom Cruise for the role of Brian McCaffrey. Cruise declined the role. In an interesting twist of fate, Brad Pitt lost out on the role of Brian McCaffrey in this film to William Baldwin, who then had to be released from his contract to play the small part of J.D. in 1991's Thelma and Louise, which was then recast with Brad Pitt. William Baldwin claims that even years after the release of this movie, fire trucks honk their horn when they see him and recognize him. Don Rimgale was a real arson investigator with the Chicago Fire Department's Office of Fire Investigation. He died in 2017. Jennifer Jason Leigh suggested J.T. Walsh for the role of Alderman Swayzak. She said that J.T. Walsh was a mentor to her. Hitting movie theaters May 24, 1991, Backdraft was an enormous success, grossing $152.4 million. The soundtrack includes 2 songs from Bruce Hornsby and the Range, The Show Goes On and Set Me in Motion. The song Set Me in Motion would reach number 26 on the U.S. mainstream rock charts in 1991. The film received 3 nominations at the 64th Academy Awards on March 30th, 1992, for Best Sound, Sound Effects Editing, and Visual Effects. Ron Howard donated some proceeds from the film to his local fire department. The first time I saw this movie was when I was 5 years old in 1993, and I know that specifically because I know exactly when it aired. It was the NBC network television premiere, which aired November 14th, 1993.
Tonight, NBC proudly presents the network television premiere of Backdraft.
This is a fantastic film. I love Kurt Russell. He's just such an awesome actor. William Baldwin is great. I love his work. He's fantastic, as is the rest of the cast. Jennifer Jason Leigh always did it for me. I love her, whether it's Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Backdraft, all the other films I've seen her in. She's wonderful and gorgeous. The movie got a bit of a boost in popularity after the September 11th attacks in 2001, but I was a fan of this film long before that. I highly recommend the 1991 action thriller, Backdraft.